Hey, how you doing? You know the vibes.
Hope everybody having a good day, man.
Hope everybody having a good day. So, uh, we're gonna do the moon phases. So I don't know if anybody has saw the video I did about the moon sign thing. The moon is your internal mind. It's how you think, how you analyze things. Your emotions is how you like react to things, and not your emotions but like your feelings is how you feel about the situation, and the mood is how you respond to the situation. So just to clear that up, so the moon goes in phases, and just how like women go through menstrual cycles and men go through cycles too, but it's phases. Like women and men, they both do the same thing, it's just on two different levels. But they both go through phases. So like you ever says like somebody was doing something and then somebody, it was just a phase, so the phase went past and then was to go do something else. So we gonna kick this off with the new moon. So a new moon is empty space, and when you dealing with empty space or newness, it's once you done with a cycle, it's when you observing or when you looking or when you curious about what you want to pull into your cycle next. So like, say for instance, like if you do, like you gotta, like you just bought it, like you just, I'm gonna give you an example, like you just bought a house, right? So you just buy a house and you ain't got nothing in the house, it's empty, empty space. So what you want to pull, what type of things you want to pull in that space, you might go look at furniture online, you might look at how other people set up their things, you might basically look at what's out there, look at what's going on. So that can be when you outside and you looking at what's going on as far as new experiences or what's something you want to get into. Like that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes when people come outside, they're like, well, what y'all trying to get into today? You're trying to get into this evening, so you're looking for newness. And you can take that same situation for like how you feel on the inside. So if you're dealing with a situation where like internally you in a situation, like say for instance you in like a relationship or you in like a situationship, or it don't even gotta be like romantic, it could be like business or friendship, anything like that. You can start to look at a person differently. You can start to look at situations differently. So that is a new moon space. You could start to feel a different way about the situation, to be curious about how this will work if I stop feeling this way, or how this will work if I look at this person through this perspective, or things like that. So then what you have after that, you have a waxing crescent. So you got an empty space and you got your empty circle. And then eventually with you adding those new ideas, those new emotions, those that new furniture, say you go out and you look at a couch and you buy a couch. You go on the couch and you sit on the couch and you see how the couch feel. That's why back in the day they used to not back in the day, but I guess the whatever, I don't know if it's Japanese or Chinese, but whatever culture used to do, they used to talk about feng shui because it was the energy of the space. So certain things you bring in throw off certain energies, or certain things you bring in create certain energy vortexes in different spaces. So if you want to take that same concept, you can put it to your internal realm, your internal emotions, and how you feel about that. But so yeah, the waxing crescent is you bringing that stuff in and you initiating the feeling of how that feels with that stuff in. So you initiating it and you like basically like the waxing crescent is the test. So you plant the seeds, you bring the stuff in, you feel a way about it, you attack something from a new angle, you look at something from a different perspective, you actually start to actively participate in the thing that you're curious about. So then you start to participate in it. And then that crescent, so you got those thoughts, you got those feelings, those emotions, aka you looking at the calendar, you looking at the everything that goes on. So then you start to do that, and then afterwards you that creates the half moon. So you're set, basically you setting up, you're going through the setup and you seeing you just going through the setup. So it's the actual experience itself, the half moon. So then you at a halfway point, and then you add on how you made that stuff feel, how that stuff made you feel, how looking at it, how doing it, bringing in that new furniture, bringing in those new feelings, those new perspectives, how that made you feel, and that creates a full moon effect. So now you full. So now you went through the process of seeing what you wanted, then you went through the process of actively participating in what you wanted, how you wanted to feel, and then after the participation, the next phase is how that situation made you feel. So that creates a full moon. So you full off. Half of it is you going through it, and the other half is the results of it, or or the results of it, or how it look and stuff like that. So you have a complete thing. So once you're done with your complete thing, your waxing is bringing it in, and then when you're done with the waxing part, then you get into what's called the waning. So how you doing? You get into, after you're done getting into the waning part. The waning is when you're reflecting. So say for instance, like, we're going to use the furniture. So say for instance, like, you bought a living room set, but you don't like how the living room set is set up. You like the living room set, but you might want to disconnect the love seat from the couch, or you might want to put the end table in the middle instead of having it on the end. And that's when you start to reflect on the situation, and you start to filter out what you want, what you don't want, how it made you feel. And that's when you're going through the process of you're reflecting on your experience. So you reflecting on that new perspective, and you reflecting on that new outlook on how you view things and how you want to look at things. So you discharging. So you filtering through everything, and you separating, and you organizing it. And that's like the waning gibbous, because waning is like I look at it like gibbous and giving, like you're giving off something. So you got all the materials, you got the experience, and now you're filtering through what you want, what you don't want. So you could even do that with thoughts, feelings, results. You got a list of results, but just because you got a list of results or something, that don't mean you need all the results. That don't mean you need all the things. So you're filtering out. This not the filtering part. This is the sorting part. So you kind of reflecting and organizing how you feel, or organizing the set. Say for instance, you got throw pillows, but you don't really need the throw pillows, so you donate them, or you give them away, or you toss them. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, however you sit with it. But it's a filtering system that happens with dealing with the moon. And that waning, the first. I get it confused sometimes, so don't quote me. Maybe it's either the first waning gibbous or the first. I think they both gibbous. The wanes are both gibbous, but one of them is just a filter, and then so you're filtering. So that creates the third half. Like, it's still a half. They call them like thirds, but it's still, when you look at it, it's still a half, but it's a waning half. So you filter. So you, like, say for instance, you got like a big old pile of junk, right? Or you got a big old pile of stuff. You take out the stuff that you want, and then you push the rest to the side. So like I said, whether you want to sell that stuff, whether you want to get that stuff away, whether you want to just toss it out, like, you filter out, you take what you want, and you filter out the rest. So then after that, that's when you at your halfway point. Because even when you got a pile of stuff, that still breaks it in half. You keep what you want, and you discard the rest. So you would have, like, say for instance, you would have like what you call that shit? Like you would filter it out. Like it gets filtered out at the end. You don't need it. So you don't need it. You're getting rid of it. So when you get, it's a cleaning of the space again. So sometimes when you're dealing with like emotional stuff or whatever the case may be, you want to clear the mental, even your mental mind. Sometimes you want to clear the mental space out, or you can clear everything out, or you could take stuff like clearing the garden out. You could take it, you clear what you don't want, and you keep what you do want. But that process goes around all the time, because in order to realize, you have to go through an experience in order to realize what you do want or what you don't want, or you have to observe a person do a complete cycle, and then you can see what you do want and what you don't want. So then at the end, when you got the halfway point, you got the stuff. So emotionally, you discarding what you don't need, and then so you keep the remnants or the results that you want. You discard what you don't need. So then you have a empty moon again, or a new moon again in the world. It like the planets in the universe, that it's like a cycle. They start over. It always repeats itself. And the people that like run countries and stuff like that, and like run all this, they know this stuff. They know that they take note of the sun and the moon and Mars and Venus and Saturn and Neptune and Pluto and Uranus and the stars. They know how this stuff works, because all this energy filters here on Earth. So say for instance you have filters, not filters, but say for instance you have knowledge, right? If you know things, or you have wisdom, or you know how something works, they can use it and manifest the stuff that they want to manifest, but you can use it too. But it's kind of like, even when you're dealing with like astrology and stars and planets and things of that nature, this is like one of the oldest sciences ever, and one of the oldest things ever, because before it was language and writings and teachings and schools, the stars and the planet have always been here. They were here, the heavenly bodies and stuff, like they've always been here. Even before somebody came down and started to write down and record it, the stuff has always been here. So it's kind of like it's the planets and stuff, they give off vibrations, and if you don't understand that, you can get used by the vibrations. And the people that know this stuff, they use the vibrations for whatever they want to use it for, and they try to keep you in a situation where you're not so much like ignorant, but like you're afraid to delve into it. So when you get scared to delve into something, when you create a fear, it takes away from your experience. So when you create fear, you don't want to, it like cuts you off from learning different things and how to use different things. So that's pretty much it. But even when you take like it's like women have been going through menstrual cycles before somebody recorded a menstrual cycle. So that's stuff, like people have been going through phases or things they want to do. Even when you were a kid, the stuff that you liked when you was 10, you might not necessarily like it at 20. The stuff that you was liking at 20, you might not necessarily like it at 30. So it's a lot that goes into it, but they know this stuff and they use it to their advantage. So it's good for people to get hip to it and stuff like that, because you can start to use it for your advantage. Instead of you helping them manifest what they want to manifest, you can learn how to manifest what you want to manifest. And like low key, the shit that you want to manifest might not even look like the shit that they tell you that you need to manifest. Like that's what is so crazy about it. It might not even be what you think that you want. Like it's like projections. Like they show you what you think you want, but what you think you want and how you want to live your life might not even necessarily be what they showing. So that creates a limiter on what you do. It creates a limit, because when you create a limit, you're scared because it might not look like like the status quo, but you could still be what you want and what you want to be out of life, regardless of how anybody looks at it. Because a lot of times people could be faking it just to be a part of the status quo, but deep down inside not even doing what they want to do. So it's deep, but yeah, those are the phases. So just remember, your new moon is your empty space. The crescent is the stuff that you pull in. When you get to the halfway point, that's when you start to reflect on what you pulled in. That's when you start to create a feeling, or if it's not a feeling, an opinion on what you just pulled in. So it might be stuff that you like and stuff that you don't. And then when you start to empty it, you sort your piles out and you see what you want to keep and you see what you don't. And then at the end, you discharge and you discard, and then that creates an empty space. So you can either go back into that same experience and try to get more of the same result, or you could go or even get different results if you want to, or you could go to a different. You could from your space you could observe different things and then pull that stuff in and do the same thing. But it's always messy. That's why I remember somebody said it's always ugly. Like it's always gonna look ugly when you first start doing stuff. It's always gonna look ugly because you don't know how to you gotta clean it up. Like you gotta filter out what works and what don't work. So everything's gonna look ugly all the time, but don't let the ugliness discourage you because it could be beauty right on the other side. So that was just a little video. That was the moon phase video. Hopefully everybody, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you know what I'm saying? You dig it. You know the vibes. Everybody have a good day.